This is the Business of Leadership Series Minute with your host, the best-selling author of Don't Buy a Duck and founder of MarketingStrategyHero.com, Derek Champagne.
Got Brett Goode with us today. He is, this is fun to say, Super Bowl champion. That's awesome. With the Green Bay Packers, over a decade in the league, in the NFL, which is a big deal. That's a long time to play in the NFL for that long. And a bunch of other cool stuff in between where I'm located here in Razorback country. He was a former Arkansas Razorback as well. Brett, thanks for taking a few minutes today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Those of us outside of the NFL, well, we always use the analogy, it's the Super Bowl of this, right? Well, in business, but this conference is a Super Bowl of conferences. Well, your Super Bowl was the actual Super Bowl, which is pretty cool. How surreal was that? Like, was there a moment for you, like in the season or in the playoffs where that became a focus, or where you realized this might actually happen? And to kind of bring me through that process, because I imagine, especially with that long in the league, and then a lot of guys most never get there. What was that feeling like? How did you stay focused? And what was the reward like? Is it as good as it sounds?
It's kind of surreal. Like, even talking about it today, you're like, man, the way that it happened is just crazy, because, we had to win the last two games just to get into the playoffs. We didn't win our division that year. And we basically had to win our 6 games in a row to win the Super Bowl. And we had to do it on the road, in the playoffs. We had to go to Philly, we had to go to Atlanta, then we had to go to our rival in Chicago for the championship game and beat them. And then obviously, when you go to Dallas, there's an ice storm. It's just, there's all kinds of crazy things. When we were going to Dallas, we were like, oh, it's gonna be great weather. It's in Texas, and then there's an ice storm. And it's like, oh, it's meant to be. That's Green Bay for you. And
get out of Green Bay for some nice weather, and then you get an ice storm.
Exactly. But, the people at Dallas were great. The hotels were, everywhere, the people were just so great. And they accepted us in. They took us around, showed us different things. Because we got to be there for, about a week. And so you're practicing at different places, and you've got to do your media requirements. So I think that was kind of one of the things that was, it's not weird, but it's something that we're not used to even during the season, of you have to go sit in a room and have this media requirement for every single player, because all reporters from all over the world come to this event.
Yeah.
And so you have to be available for that. And so that was interesting to see that, and the media access at, game day, and that, when the final play happened and we knew we were going to win, and just, it was crazy, but during the moment, you're focused on the game.
Right.
So, you're not thinking at halftime, you're like, oh, getting nervous, because that's not the way football is. You have a second half to play, and there's a lot of things that can happen.
Did you have time to celebrate the moment, though, afterwards, or did you have time to celebrate the success?
Well, we did, yes. And I always give the joke that it was kind of crazy. So we actually got an extended period to celebrate that, because we had the lockout. So we didn't go back to work immediately. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do like the early White House tour. We got to go later in the preseason, but we didn't get to do a lot of events as a team because we were locked out. So we didn't get to celebrate that. But individually, you got to celebrate it and enjoyed a good off season. Some of my friends would say it was a little too long, because I'd call them while they were at work, and I'd be like, "Hey, let's go play golf. Let's go do this." But that was enjoyable for me, and it was fun. It was well worth it.
So then you got to go to the White House too.
And then we got to go to the White House in the next preseason.
Derek Champagne here. I want to connect with you to get your thoughts on the show, get your feedback on your favorite guests. Connect with me on LinkedIn right now. Send me a quick message. I look forward to talking to you.